what's going on, everyone? How are we doing? Hold on, let me turn the gain up a little bit. There we go. It's a PJ party. Hey, that's okay. It's California. It's laid back. I imagine everybody in California wears PJs all the time. What up? What up? I uh I see some peeps up on the Discord posting pics. They're in they're entered for the movie prize pack. Stan Stanley Ipkiss. That's right. I just need a mask. Actually, I own one. It just doesn't look like that. I have a really cool leather mask that just don't ask about. Uh, Rainbow Dash. I'll put that as your +1. If you win, I'll add some pony food. Speaking of food, um, get some snacks. We're gonna do just for funsies a little bit of movie trivia. Today is gonna be movie oriented. We're gonna talk a little bit about my experience with movies, my experience shooting one for TV. Hey, that's good enough, Scuba. I technically only wear underwear, so buddy, these are what I lounge in during the day. These are my jammies that I walk around in. I'm a heavy guy. If I wore jammies, I'd sweat to death. I'd wake up 15 pounds lighter every morning. But I want to do a little movie trivia. What's going on, Doug? Doug rocking the Roosevelts. Dig that shirt. Pretty cool company. Oh, here we go. Comic Con has got the Insta tag up. He's entered. There it is. By the way, I really love the One Up arcade in the background. Get it. Dig it. All right. So we're going to do a little movie trivia just for fun, for imaginary points. We are going to talk a little bit about my experience with movies and making one that unfortunately didn't see the light, two that didn't see the light of day. One that was official, one that was more of a student film. I'm going to tell you a Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez story. And then I'm going to tell you, pretty much answer any questions or talk movies with you. So this is going to be a whole gang of fun. I got a lot of complaints about the microphone yesterday, so I do have the gain turned up a bit more, so hopefully I'm a bit louder for everyone. Good. That's what I like to hear. I brought some movie snacks. Now, just to show my dedication to the craft, for the record, I'm not a fan of popcorn. It is utterly painful for me to eat popcorn. But since it goes with movies, I forced myself. I'm going to force myself to eat some popcorn. Mmm, bleeding gums. Yucky. Yeah, Ice Wolf, you got like a legit beard. I love it, dude. That is that is white cheddar popcorn. It's a white cheddar pop, and I've already got some stuck between my teeth that is going to bother me. This is going to be so uncomfortable for your boy DC here. I'm just telling you right now. For the sake of viewership, I am going to be torturing myself while I'm here. It is from a bag. Yeah, I didn't pop it myself. This is brutal. There you go. Yeah, I don't remember that name. Scuba. Is it something made by is it made by your company? Is it a is it one of those delicious Frito-Lay products? So I will be, for the record, while we have everybody on here, I'll be taking note of all the photos that are posted of you watching the stream, and everybody that has a Discord or Instagram photo with me tagged in it, or in the chat with a photo. I will be getting all those names together. And Thursday on Hellbolt's birthday, we will be drawing a random winner. We'll do that live. I'm going to download one of those wheel spinning widgets for the screen. We'll do it in about a month. So is mine, Scoob. I think your birthday is right around mine. I don't know. I might give him an extra draw. I do. I draw a mean stick figure, Doug. A mean stick figure. Yeah, mine's only 3 weeks after yours. Hot Cheetos popcorn? I mean, sure. I don't like any popcorn, but that's fine. Wheel of Death digital edition. That's right. That's right. All right, so let me split screen here. And let's get into. Let's turn the brightness down first. See if I can do this without breaking anything. Oh. Okay, that's good. I like that. No announcement. Coming soon. Oh, trust me, this announcement will be so big, I won't be the only one talking about it. I guarantee it. All right, so who fancies themselves a movie expert? I do. I'm not even going to lie. I'm pretty good when it comes to film. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to do some famous movie quotes. These are famous movie quotes from probably the last 75 years. Good, good, good. So, this is, you were a film minor in college. Brent, are you trying to tell me you filmed a minor in college? I'd be careful, man. Statute of limitations and all. All right, so I am going to come up with no, I'm going to come up with the quote. You guys can come up with a film. All I need is a film title. Don't need to know who said it. We'll start with a really, really, really easy one. I gotta see. I gotta pause for the race car bed. There it is. Dig it, man. Dig it. Dave is in it to win it. All right, here's an easy one. Here's an easy one. And I'm going to make it easy just to get you warmed up. If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come. Field of Dreams. Scuba's just like, yo, I got that. I got that. Comic-Con is in a close second. Lightning fast. Told you I was going to make it easy. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, some people might be a little bit better connected than me. So thankfully, it's made of and if you want to turn the chat off and just play at home, you can. So that there's no spoilers. All right, how about this one? Let me mark off the ones that I've already done. It is a delay. What's going on, Carol? PJs, here it is. I got the matching PJ bottoms as well. We are movie PJ night, complete with yummy popcorn. All right, Doug, I love you even if you're leaving early. Family first. Yummy. All right, here's the next one. You can't handle the truth. There you go. John's got it. A Few Good Men. Just barely beat out Dave. Creepa in third. And these are my really poor impressions of these people as well. All right, this one's going to be difficult. Let me see if this. I'm going to look something up with real quick. All right. Now, for this one, I want the actual movie. I want the actual movie in which this is first said, because it's said in a few of them. But this is going to be for the true fans. We're stepping it up to be something pretty tough here. So, the very first movie, there's actually two lines famously said in this movie. The first one is the very first time on film we hear him say, Bond, James Bond. Well, you got to think about it. Brett has it. Dr. No. Dr. No from 1963 is the first time ever the statement is made. Also, is and this one I may not be 100% sure of, but I think I'm right. Martini, shaken, not stirred. I believe both of those are first stated in Dr. No. Well, it also depends which set of Bond movies, because there's the broccoli ones, which I believe are the original ones, and then there was a loss in of licensing. So it's believe me, it's confusing. Actually, fun fact: all my Floridians that are watching right now, you can actually go to an actual place, the Silver River. At the top of the Silver River is Silver Springs Park. In Silver Springs, you can actually go and see where they shot Thunderball. All the underwater scenes are done there. As a matter of fact, because, movies didn't give an F back then, all of the stuff is still dumped at the bottom of the lake, at the bottom of the spring, so you can actually ride some of the what were supposed to be self-propelled items, which were actually drawn by string, and you can see different props that were left behind in Silver Springs. Fun fact. So, for all of you in Florida, it's a short trip from anywhere in Florida but Miami, out by Ocala. Great time. In addition to that, so another great thing, Creature from the Black Lagoon was shot there as well. And when they shot Creature in the Black Lagoon and they shot the movie, the original Tarzan movies, the black and white ones, they shot it on an island that's in the middle of Silver River. And what they did is they stocked the jungle, the trees, with monkeys, and the monkeys were for the filming, and then because there was no rules back then, they just left the monkeys there and said, they're on an island. There's no way they're going to get out, so we're going to just leave the monkeys there. They're going to stay on this island. It'll be something to see. Well, monkeys got out, so now all over Florida, no joke, there are monkeys everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but in a lot of places, including Tampa, downtown Tampa. And these wild monkeys, some of them have their own Facebook pages. It's hilarious. It's true. I'm not joking. So these generations upon generations of monkeys actually came from the film industry and are now, I guess, since it's generational, are native to Central Florida, North Central Florida. I swear, I'm not lying. Go look it up. Monkey sightings are considered good luck there until you find out how much things they carry. All right, next movie quote for fake internet points. We're going to need a bigger boat. Jaws, Hellbolt got it. God, this is so bad. Popcorn. It's like chewing glass. So this one's from a comedy. And this is a background person that they show after a famous scene. Yeah, you know what, Hellbolt? Yeah, I'll bleed out a lot faster. I'm getting eaten by a shark than eating this popcorn. I'll have what she's having. What movie is that from? It's actually from a very famous scene. A very risque scene. When Harry met Sally. When Harry did not believe that Sally was capable of fooling him, she proved him wrong in public. To which the person responded, I'll have what she's having. All right, now we're going to go in way back in history. Way back in history. This next quote actually comes from a scene that was completely improvised. So in this, and I'll say the quote, and then I'll tell the story. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Not Taxi, Bolts. Not Taxi. I believe it's the same city, though. Well, it is the same city. What's up, Bourbon's girlfriend? Bourbon's girlfriend, you do not have to send me a photo of you in PJs. I will just take your word for it. Not Godfather, not Raging Bull. Midnight Cowboy, Carol. Carol with a steel. Comic-Con, you were so close. Mario, you were right up there too. That is Midnight Cowboy. So fun fact, this is absolutely true. While they were shooting that scene of them walking across the street, a car almost ran him over. That is actually not in the script. He was actually bumped by that car, and his natural reaction was to yell, I'm walking here, and slam on the hood of the car. That's actually a movie moment that went to film because it was completely not staged. And he was almost hit by that car and almost got run over. That is actually a true story. He almost got hit by that car. But the moment was so perfect and displayed that New York attitude so well that it stayed in the film. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Mmm, not good. Silence of the Lambs. Mario got it. Big ups to Mario. It puts a lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again. You know, it's funny. No, I'm not going to say that joke. Oh, goodness, yeah. There it is. Let's get another good one here. This is one single word from arguably the most famous movie in history. And a lot of people don't understand why it's famous. So after I say this one word quote, I will, all right, how about this? Mel, I'm going to put you to work. Yeah, Comic-Con, you cheated. Comic-Con already knows it. Mel is going to declare the YouTube winner. I'm going to declare the overall winner. So if the overall winner is not necessarily the YouTube winner, we're going to give you both fake points. It is true, Comic-Con. The one-word quote was Rosebud. Now, as a student of film, the reason Citizen Kane is considered one of the most impactful and significant movies of all time. That's right, Creep has got it. before Orson Welles created that film, basically how you shot a movie, and you can watch the old Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire films, you would have a set. The set would be one room, maybe two rooms, and it was a stationary camera. Occasionally, the cameras would move very lightly. He invented panning. He invented the zoom focus. He invented pretty much everything that is done today in film. And the cutscenes for you. Carol's got another one-word quote for us. What is it? Give it to us, Carol. But you can credit all of the current and most of the camera angles and movements with the camera and actual putting the camera on a little mini railroad track. That actually was new. Correct. Comic-Con, that is correct. They also shot out of order to make it a quicker return. Carol's one-word movie quote. Plastics. Adrian is an obvious one, yeah. The Graduate. Mean Girls. Rad rum. Rad rum. Rad rum. Rad rum. All right, let's do it. Okay, this is from a comedy legend. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is a war room. The Shining. That's the Red Room. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. MLP. Say hello to my little friend. Hellbolt got Scarface. Scuba, close second. Mario. My wife's waving at you. You talking to me? You talking to me? Taxi. Taxi Driver is the correct answer. Taxi Driver. Taxi was a sitcom. Well, I don't know if it's a sitcom. Taxi was a comedy featuring a very short, handsome man who was one of the greatest humans on Earth, and a tall, skinny guy who died well before his time. Same thing? Yeah, same thing. Oh man, I would love to bring the snow anywhere else other than here. Here's a fun one, and this one actually is something that my family does actually use in a regular. Doc Brown was, that's right. Christopher Lloyd was in Taxi. Christopher Lloyd was in Taxi. The Man in the Moon was in Taxi. One of the greatest American heroes, all 4'11" of them, it was in Taxi. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. What? That's a Mario. That is a great scene. Slow down. What does a yellow light mean? Slow down. What does a yellow light mean? That's a funny piece of television right there. It's a very funny piece of television. It is The Godfather 2. Godfather 2. And you know what? That deserves some more popcorn. Mmm. Muy delicioso. Oh, yeah. Mmm. So creamy. That's actually a good quote right there. Mmm. So creamy. Unintentional movie quote. But that's the next one right there. That's actually from a movie. That is a direct movie quote. That's right, John? No, nobody has the so creamy. It's actually a movie quote. That's where I got it from. Not Van Wilder. Although you can argue he did say that in Van Wilder. But before that, it occurred. I'll give you a hint. It had to do with a piece of dog do that they were pretending was chocolate. American Wilder, he's so close. American Wedding. All right, this one is legit. This one is legit for movie files. This is a movie I saw in school. I took a class on film in high school. It was an elective class. Basically, what happened was they didn't have enough teachers, so they basically put a sub in charge of a time slot, and we just watched movies every day. They called it English class. My English teacher in high school was a buffoon. She was one of those people that just didn't like you, and if she didn't like you, that was it. You were never gonna. She wasn't gonna like you. She wasn't gonna like your brothers, your sisters, anybody. She was just a horrible, horrible person. I'm not gonna name her name, but she did teach at Orchard Park High School in the 90s and 2000s. And she was a turd sandwich. But I will credit her with making us watch this movie, which was actually pretty amazing to see a very young movie star in the making, putting out one of his best efforts. See, there you go. You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am. Now, I'll never say it as well as he did. On the waterfront, Mario, man of class right there. There you go. Mario followed by Scuba. That's how I see it. That movie, young Marlon Brando. And when I say young Marlon Brando, I mean that's not a lot of body fat on the Brando that made that movie. Oh, it's okay, Comic-Con. Everybody who gets it right gets points in my heart. How about this one? Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello. Jerry Maguire. Well, Mario, technically, they repeated the scene in Night at the Roxbury. This is so good. I wish there was like anything else that went with movies other than popcorn. God, I must really love you guys. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Popcorn milk dugs. There you go. M&M's does. I do have M&M's in the house. Peanut butter M&M's because those are the best. But I was going to go more cliche with the popcorn. Gone with the Wind. It is Gone with the Wind. Abby Close. Close. Same era. Now, if you want something from that movie, I would say, he is looking at you, kid. Oh, that's in there. I will be anemic after tonight. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. What up, Benj? How you doing, man? Wall Street. All right, Carol, I will be here. Oh, man. Yeah. What we have here is a failure to communicate. I'm sorry, on camera. It's just so painful. I got to get it out. There we go. Cool Hand Luke. If you want to see a movie that has, thank you, Benj. Yep, Cool Hand Luke. If you want to see a movie that has a lot of imagery, purposeful imagery in it, Cool Hand Luke was really made in a meta kind of way back then. There are scenes that are very conspicuously shot and set up, and the cinematography has, I wouldn't say double entendres, but multiple meanings to it. There's little things that you can pick out that are symbolic, major symbolism in that film. Definitely another movie file film. Cool Hand Luke. See if there's anything else on this list I want to go with. Ooh, excuse me. They're here. Poltergeist. 1982's Poltergeist. Ice Wolf. That's fine, man. We love it. We got it. Here's a film that scared the bejesus out of me. An alleged true story. Don't do it. Yeah, that's right. This one is screamed. For your ear's sake, I'm not going to scream into the microphone. No wire hangers. Ever. This movie scared the heck out of me and made me very thankful for the mother I had. Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest, that's it. Oh, that hurts. It's like right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a terrible feeling in my mouth. Stella! Stella! Creeper. Streetcar Named Desire. Another Brando flick. Seinfeld. Technically, yeah. Technically Seinfeld. And also, most terrible movie you saw? All right, I think I am. Oh, here's one. Raging Willie. Here's one. Toga, 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 toga. Animal House all day long. I think we're good here. I think we'll move to story time real quick. See if there's any other ones that I think we need to go through. Cinderella Story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper, now about to become the Masters champion. It looks like America. It's in the hole! It's in the hole! It's in the hole! I don't even have to get through it for people to scream Caddyshack. Also, fun fact William Murray actually improvised the scene. That was a full improvised scene. True story. One of the first movies I remember ever crying. Oh, I got you, Benj. I love I love the quickie stop. The quickie mart. That's fantastic, dude. It is primo. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is great. Um this movie was one of the first movies I can remember ever watching. And crying at the end of as a youngster. I would have been, I think, 9 years old when this came out. Um, but brilliant film. And the line is Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. I did not cry at To Kill a Mockingbird. Dead Poets Society. Mario. Dave, close second. The Dead Poets Society, starring Robin Williams and a few other people of note, um, was the first. This was 1989, so I was probably 9 or 10. Um, and I remember my mother talking about it. She was talking to an adult friend about it, saying like she's like, "Oh my god, I was just bawling at the end," and I was like, "Ooh, cool." I want to see a movie that makes me cry because when you're 9, you don't know what you're looking at. Now, I didn't completely understand all of it at the time, but you do understand enough at that age to understand what the movie was really about. And the at the end, and if you haven't seen the movie, this is a 32-year-old spoiler alert. So I'm not gonna save this story until you see it. So I mean, mute me for the next 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Starting now. At the end, yeah, me too, Brent. Me and you, same age, man. At the end, when he's cleaning out, he's leaving, and the kid stands on his desk and says, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and the look Robin Williams gave them, and then all of the students doing that was like the moment that I could argue the moment that made me understand that movies were way more than just entertainment and something you would do on the weekend. Um, I could argue Dead Poet Society was the movie that made me fall in love with movies, that made me understand that films can make you feel. And not just, because when you're a kid, you watch comedies and cartoons and everything's a laugh. But that was the first time that true emotion was ever pulled out of me. And at 9 years old, to have that kind of exposure is amazing because it really caused me to go and be a cinephile. And to really go out there and watch films and to, have my mother drop me off at the Buck 50 Apple Tree Mall movie theater where you could watch any movie for $1.50 any time of the day because the place was going under. When Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet came out, I went there with $12 and I watched it 3 times in one day. And it was, what's going on, Greek? It was just, it got me into movies. Dead Poet Society is a major, major, major contribution to me being an actor. When I was an actor and whatever I consider myself now. And you know what? I think we're going to end on that one. I think we will hit the pause button on the movie quotes and we'll move to story time. Okay. That's a great story, Scoobs. Great story. Um. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you. I will. I will watch it. Okay. Here we go. So I gotta think of the. I gotta think of the year because I want to give context to this. So give me a second. All right. So it would have been 2007. All right, so 2006, 2007. I want to say it was closer to 2007. I was in full swing as an improv actor out of the Marion Theater in sunny Ocala, Florida. A little blip on the map off of Highway 75, Interstate 75. That if you blink, you will pass it because it's a one exit town. Known for their thoroughbred horses and small burgeoning theater presence. Um, so I was working as a waiter and a manager at the Melting Pot, and I was also acting about 5 shows a week. 5 to 7 shows a week, depending on the time of year. 5 to 7 shows a week, improv comedy, family friendly. It was based off of the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? It was called What's My Line? And it was me and the greatest group of men and women ever assembled on stage that were technically amateurs, even though we did get stipends. And I was a blast. It was like going on stage with a bunch of friends, goofing off, and people giving you money for it. It was the biggest. Um, it was the best job I ever had. Um, it was the best job I ever had. I loved it. Um, the second best job I ever had was doorman at a gentleman's club, for obvious reasons. But being an improv actor was the number one thing. It was just fun. I was not even trying. It was just me being me on stage, goofing around, making people laugh, and absolutely loving life. So we had the opportunity to do a little tour. Um, we had a chance to go to Austin, Texas for the Out of Bounds Improv Festival. The Out of Bounds Improv Festival, I don't know if it's still going on. I hope it was because it was great. Was people from all over the United States coming and showing off their short form and long form talent as improv regulars. My improv troupe was called Second Thought Improv. And Second Thought Improv, it was kind of a double meaning, uh, because it took us only a second to come up with this scene and get it rolling. And also, we would never take the first thing that popped into our head because that was too obvious. We would always take the second thing that popped into our head. So, Second Thought Improv, dual meaning. Those guys, last I knew, they still got around. I'm one of the founding members of Second Thought Improv, and we got to go. We didn't get to perform, but we were there to learn. And there was former writers from SNL that were doing classes. There were bit actors that all like small time actors that weren't these crazy superstars, but in the improv world were just absolute geniuses. There was a gentleman by the name of Rafe Chase out of California. He was a founding member of something called Bats Improv. I'm not going to get into to that stuff, but I'm telling you this story to get to a movie story. So we were in Austin. My producer, Brian and his wife Tava, were our actual literal LA producers. Brian and Tava were two of the greatest people in the world. They were the ones that were like, you are absolutely cut out for this. You need to do this for a living. And really guided me into doing it. So Brian took us to Austin. He said, my friend is shooting a film out there right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Out of Bounds Improv Festival, and then we're going to go watch them shoot this movie. And it was cool. He's like, I'm not going to tell you who it is. You have to wait till we get there. Great, cool. So we took a huge like cargo van from Florida to Austin. It was my first time ever in Austin. So we're staying at the DoubleTree Hotel. I don't know if it's still the DoubleTree Hotel, but it's one of the tallest buildings in Austin. It's right by Congress Street. If you've ever been to Austin. And he got us a couple of suites. I think it was 2 suites, 2 or 3 suites. I think it was 3 suites. And we bunked up with each other, and the idea was to have a lot of fun at night, to do the improv shows. And what's going on, Ninja? How are you doing? The idea was to learn as much as we can, sign up for every single course. I got to do a course. I was very lucky to get into Rafe Chase's course about stage presence and noir. And he's one of the people that these are his words, not mine. I was a very high energy person. As you can see on camera right now, I tend to bounce around a lot. I tend to move. I tend to swirl around in my seat. And I was a high energy guy on stage. And he tells us do a scene. He goes, do a scene. He goes, you are bringing a suitcase into your boss. That guy is your boss. Do a scene. And that was it. That was our direction. So I walk in and now mind you, improv comedian. I had a 1-track mind. I walk in holding the pretend briefcase, and I'm bouncing. I'm like, all right, boss, I got the briefcase. What do we do? And he immediately goes, stop, cut, stop. He goes, all right. And I swear to God, this is what he said. He goes, you're a good-looking guy. Because back then I was. He goes, you're a good-looking guy. He goes, you have what we call stage presence. He goes, stop bringing attention to yourself. He goes, I want you to stand still. I want you to walk in the room, stand still, just turn your head 45 degrees and say, I have the suitcase, boss, and I want you to do nothing else for this scene. So I was like, oh, okay. So I walk in, take 2 steps, and I go, I have the suitcase, boss. And then he goes, stop. Now, mind you, the other guy who's playing the boss hasn't said a word yet. And he turns to the crowd, because there was about, everybody that's in the class, there's about 30 people per class, and they're all sitting there watching. And he turns to the class, he goes, which scene was better, 1 or 2? And everyone was like, 2. He goes, you don't have to act. He goes, you just need to be. He goes, you can get off stage, I'm done with you. And I was like, wow, I don't need to act, I just need to be. And that was like the coolest and nicest thing anybody had ever said to me. Yeah, it's always, he's like, you don't have to act, you just have to be. He's like, that's it, you have stage presence. He goes, you just have, it was like nuts. So afterwards, I was like, dude, I had him autograph my, I still have all the stuff. He autographed the paper, and he goes, and I'm only going to autograph it if you autograph mine. I'm like, yeah, but I'm nobody. And he goes, yet. And I was like, oh, all right then. So we exchanged autographs. And then I had a class with this girl. I can't remember her name. But she was a director, but she was doing like smaller films. I did not act in high school. I went to the high school plays as a viewer. I never did high school theater. I was more interested in extracurricular activities that were bad for you than I was extracurricular activities that were good for you. Now remember, everybody, hydrate. Water is good for you. That's right, Mary Jane, Scuba. Sweetest girl I knew in high school. So she basically took this. They get into it? Yeah, I bet they do, Dave. So the next course I had, well, Scuba, you just don't have any taste then. No, I was the only one that nobody asked him for his autograph. I did because he changed how I looked at stage presence in theater. So the next one I had, and I have all these people's names. I have the original sheets that I had from that. I saved them. They're somewhere. They're somewhere. And she was awesome. One of her like characteristics, author, actor, director, feminist. And I took the course because I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. Is actually my director is like, you need to take this course. He goes, because you're just all testosterone and fuel. He goes, we need a little, little calm down from you, a little focus. So he made me take the course. And she was basically like, all right, do a scene, and then I want you to switch genders and then do a scene, and then I want you to do a gender neutral scene. Now, mind you, this is 2007. So this is before all of this stuff was happening. You're going to be shocked if you find the sheet and it was Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins. Mario, explain. I don't know. So this was like the most difficult thing I ever did. Oh, directed Wonder Woman? No, I doubt it was her. Unless she's a redhead. So I did a scene, and then I switched, and then I was trying to be gender neutral, and it was one of the most difficult things that I ever had to do, because you have to think like the opposite sex, and you have to think like you have no sex at all. And by that, I mean gender neutral. And it was just it was interesting to get a different perspective, and I would carry into different scenes that I would do for comedic purposes. I would use the things that just these things that I learned in one simple hour-long class that forever are ingrained into my acting psyche. And it was amazing. The third one, I don't remember what it was. The dude was he was a former SNL writer, and I don't remember his name. I barely remember what he looks like. It was more or less like how to write something. And I was like, well, I'm not a writer. I'm an improv actor. I don't know how writing is going to help me. I don't even remember that class because it was just kind of like, it was not very good. It was not engaging at all. All right, so I've given you the groundwork. So we're there. We're doing work as I'm telling you. So Brian comes to me and says, hey, let's go across the street. They're shooting tonight, and we'll see who we can see. And in end of 2006, early 2007, there was a movie shot in Austin by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino about a car, a stunt driver with a death-proof car, and a apocalypse survivor with one leg and a machine gun attached to it. I actually was there to witness Grindhouse being shot live. There's two scenes that I got to see them shoot. The scene inside the bar, where it's raining outside, I got to see an actual real rain machine and how they work, which, spoiler alert, it's a crane with a pipe with a bunch of holes drilled on it connected to a fire hose. That's how they make it rain. And because of that, we got to see Robert Rodriguez. We got to see Rose McGowan. She was there. There's a funny story. Who else was it? Kirk Douglas? Smoking cigars with Kirk Douglas. I didn't get to smoke a cigar with him, but my boss went out for cigars with him because he's a big cigar aficionado as well. And I got to see, so what they did is they removed the roof of the building. They literally cut the roof off of the building. It was a taco joint across the street from the hotel. And they cut the roof off of the place so that they could fit in cranes and booms and everything. Obviously, when the movie was over, they put the roof back on the place. But this taco place was, you got to see them acting inside this thing. And Rob in his cowboy hat, you couldn't miss him because he always wears a cowboy hat, like a beat up straw type cowboy hat, sitting in a chair in front of a monitor. So that was my first exposure to, like, wow, this is a Hollywood movie being made right in front of me. And from where my room was, where our hotel room was, we could actually just get on our balcony, turn and look down, and it was just across the street. So we stayed up till like 4 a.m. watching them shoot Grindhouse. And there was a story that came out of there. Have I ever seen Chef? I have seen Chef. I think Chef was an amazing film. Quentin Tarantino has a foot fetish. He loves toes. Big fan of toes. And for the movie Grindhouse, Rosario Dawson is in it. This is all true. I don't think I can get sued for saying it because this is all true. I'm just relating a true story. So Rosario Dawson is in the film. In the film, Rosario Dawson is in the death-proof car, which I got a picture of me next to the death-proof car. Unfortunately, the phone I had from back then is gone. Oh, yeah, so many close-up of Uma Thurman's feet in Pulp Fiction. Um, so in the film, uh, Kirk Douglas creates a death-proof car, a car that, and he talks about it, a car that you can get, and Kill Bill, you're right, um, that you can get into an accident with and you'll survive. They call death-proofing the car. It's how they make stunt cars. He's actually talking about making real stunt cars for films. So he's in this death-proof car, and he uses this car to basically kill people. Not by running them over necessarily, but getting passengers in there that don't have seatbelts and basically killing them by blunt force trauma. But there's one scene where, and I'm sorry, this is not, there's gonna be some gory details, but forgive me, I'm just telling about a movie. There's a scene where Rosario Dawson is like disrespecting this car, and she's like, he picks her up to drive her around, and she's got her 1 foot hanging out the window, and she's just talking, and he's getting madder and madder, and he decides to like slam into a tree or whatever it is, and her leg flies off, and they show this famous scene of this leg flying through the air. So apparently, Rosario Dawson's not a fan of feet, and Quentin is. And there's a story, and I may not have seen it firsthand, but I may know of somebody who did see it firsthand. Quentin Tarantino chasing Rosario Dawson around the set, sucking on prosthetic fake leg toes, and laughing about it while she squeals and screams and is grossed out running away. This story has been told, I believe, by one other person, and it was somebody who was very famous. And I can corroborate this story because while I did not see it with my own eyes, I do know somebody who has and relate it to me. And there it was, him basically tormenting her with her own prosthetic leg, which was, by the way, cast from her real leg. So he's basically sucking on her toes, but her fake toes. But yeah, that was that was Austin. And then as I was leaving, I saw this t-shirt that said, "Keep Austin Weird." And I was like, yeah, I need that t-shirt because this was an experience. So that is my Grindhouse story. I didn't get to interact with a lot of the actors, but I did get to like basically be across the street from them, and watch my producer interact with them. But that's a true story. The only feature that I ever got to do. All right, Dave. I got a casting call for a film that was shot in, I want to say, is it Alden, New York? Eden? It was one of the two. It was near the Pennsylvania border. They needed some non-SAG actors to do a documentary, which was supposed to be for the History Channel. It had 2 titles. I heard 2 different titles. It had a working title and a real title. One of them was Prohibition: An American Saga. I believe that's what the actual title was supposed to be. The working title was The Death of John Barleycorn. And John Barleycorn, that's an old statement talking about booze. John Barleycorn was a booze reference. Comic-Con's like, Dave, that's totally inappropriate and totally accurate for me as well. So I answered the casting call. I basically like showed up and I was like, hey, I'm here for the casting call. And the guy's like, what's your experience? I was like, well, I have 300 shows. And he goes, you're hired. I was like, oh, okay. That was the thing. He goes, we're going to pay you $150 a day. We're going to need you for 3 days. Are you interested? If when the movie gets picked up, it'll give you enough time to, it'll give you enough screen time to get your SAG card. And we'll make sure you have enough screen time to get your SAG card, and we'll also get you an IMDb page because, this is supposed to be picked up for the History Channel. And I was like, awesome, that's all I've wanted was my IMDb and SAG card. Because once you have your SAG card, I mean, scale is like $800 a day minimum just to walk on set, whether they use you or not. So that was like instant money. And it cost you, I think, $1,500 a year for your dues, or at least it did at the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my SAG card. Excellent. Amazing. So I was there for 3 days. I got to play an owner of a speakeasy, as well as a pallbearer in the funeral scene. I do have some background photos on my phone I'm going to pull up real quick. These are one of the few stories I have photo proof of. So basically, like, the first thing he was like, hey, can you sing? I was like, no. He's like, great, we need you to sing anyway. We need you to sing Amazing Grace as part of a choir. I was like, great, this is going to be terrible. So I kind of did. Not really. I pretended to sing. All right, where am I? Here we go. Bolt, I caught myself. You like that? All right, acting. Film. There we go. This was 2009. So, for this one, I am wearing an actual 1920s bowler hat. This hat had its own keeper. There was a person who followed me around, and in between every single scene would take this hat off of my head and pat my head down so that I didn't sweat. I told you I was handsome. So the hat actually got more attention than I did because the hat was so important. Clockwork Orange, yeah, a little bit of ultra violence. And here's a scene that we shot in the cemetery. Now, you'll see a guy in a white shirt. The guy in the white shirt is standing next to an actual camera that was built in the 1920s. They actually shot some of the footage on a vintage crank camera to give it authenticity. He said the camera cost more than any other piece of the production, and it was rented. So I got to do that. They made me the owner of the speakeasy because there was no lines. It was silent, and it was going to be voiceover. Well, to get your SAG card, you don't necessarily have to speak lines. You can have an accumulation of time on screen that will give you your SAG card, and that's what they were kind of aiming at for me. So they said, we're paying you, so we're going to give you an actual titled role. We're going to give you a credit, which is also important for IMDb. And he said, we just need you to pretend like you own a speakeasy or you own a bar and the bar is closing due to prohibition. That was my direction. That was it. I got behind a real bar. We got to drink real beer because it was a non union film. Union films, SAG films, you can't drink real beer. You have to get a permit to drink real beer. It's not. I'll actually end it with that. So there's three people standing in front of me. I would wipe down the bar and I put it down and we'd grab our glasses. We'd do one last cheers. We'd slam the glasses down, and I'd look at each individual person as they left, and I'd wipe it down, kind of dejected that it was closing, put the glasses down, and leave. Then the next scene was me actually with my jacket undone and leaving, locking up the door, and then taking a wheelbarrow full of crap and just driving and wheeling it down the street. And the direction was, all right, lock the bar and leave. I was like, I'm not just going to lock the bar and leave. This guy's just losing his livelihood. So I locked the thing, and I looked down, put my hands on the hips, and I shook my head, and I put my head down. I picked up my wheelbarrow, and I popped off angrily. And he's like, oh, I love that. Do it again. I did 5 takes of that. We did 4 takes. Actually, we did about 8 takes of the beer scene. For some reason, we kept messing up the beer scene and had to get our beers refilled and drank. But we eventually got the scene done. And then the final scene that I was actually in, that actually was full screen time, that had close-ups of me and things, was these people that were carrying this casket with them, and the casket was full of empty beer bottles. And it's me and those 3 guys that were in the bar. We're standing in the middle of the river. We actually shot the film in the river. I don't know what river it was in New York, but it was like a creek or crick, depending on where you're from. And we were in knee-high water and sitting on a couple of rocks that were protruding out of the water that they placed there. And we're pretending to talk and reminisce and drink these bottles of beer and throwing them into this coffin, this old-school wooden coffin. And that was it. So it was silent. So we were just cracking our own jokes. We were just cracking on each other and joking and laughing. And we were actually drinking pop. We were drinking Pepsi out of the beer bottles to make it look like there was something in it. And for realism. So we shot that for probably 3 hours in the middle of the summer. That's where I learned the term 2-minute cloud. There was the lighting person was in charge, since it was an outdoor shoot. We had to use sun. He had to use certain levels of light on the sun. And when a cloud would come, they would estimate the length of time it would take for the cloud to pass for the sun to be up again. So we'd be in the middle of a scene, and they'd be like, all right, cut, 2-minute cloud. And we would sit there and wait for this cloud to go by. And my hat would be taken off, and this girl would be patting my head and little mini fan and touching up my makeup. She was from, she was one of the fjords. She was either from either Norway or Sweden or Denmark or something, but she had this accent okay, we're taking off the hat, baby. Let me just get your head right here. Oh, very good, very good. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I could do this for the rest of my life. I want to be an actor. This is it. I'm doing what I want to do the rest of my life. I have these awesome people around me. I have this beautiful girl patting my head and doing my makeup, and I'm just standing here smiling. That was my whole job. It was wonderful. I loved it. That was the moment I was like, I want to be an actor for the rest of my life. Spoiler alert, didn't happen. So we finish shooting, and they pay me, and I move on. And about 6 months goes by. And I reached out to the casting director. I said, hey, any update on the film? Because we were promised a copy of it. Well, and Brent, I'll tell you, this is the part for you right here. I said, we were promised a copy of the movie. My family's really interested in seeing this. I also want to get some information for my IMDb page. And the guy was very brisk. He goes, oh yeah, that movie, yeah, we finished it, we cut it, we edited it, it's in the can. They didn't pick it up. And I was like, what do you mean they didn't pick it up? He goes, yeah, they didn't buy it. He goes, they screened it, they didn't buy it. I was like, well, what now? He goes, nothing. It probably won't see the light of day. If nobody buys it, it's never going out. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what does that mean for me? He goes, you got paid, didn't you? I was like, yeah. He goes, that's it. I was like, so no IMDb page? He goes, no, No, if it is in the can, he goes, if it's in the can and it's not shown, it's buried, you forget about it. And he's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks. So if I didn't have the pictures of me on set, there would be no proof that that story is true. But yeah, we shot this film. They were supposed to shoot another film called Little Chicago in the same town. And apparently they backed out of the movie, and the town had like sued the production company for not paying off any of the debts and for permanently changing some of the historic landscape with the movie, and became just an ugly, ugly mess. Um, and that was my one and only film. Yeah, right. I know, Mario. I think the fact that it's like really hot in this room is really stale popcorn on the fact that it's just gross. It is really nasty. It's not good at all. Movie time with DC. Mmm. It doesn't even crunch, it just smushes. You need to bolt. So speaking of movies, Hellbolt has been in some stuff too. Absolutely. You gotta post it to Discord. Yeah, Bolt has some TV experience. Oh, I love bacon with brown sugar. I used to do a little bit of brown sugar and maple syrup. It was fun, man. So the reason I never became an actor. Here's the story of why I'm not an actor right now. And I'm gonna teach y'all. I'm gonna give you a little lesson. I'm gonna give a lesson in this too. And then I'll end the movie night feed with this life lesson. Um, so it would be about 2009, the end of 2009, the middle of 2009. I'm in, Doan. I am all in. If bacon brittle, yes, I'll try. If it has bacon in it, I'm gonna eat it. Um, so this story is very personal, and will give you a little glimpse into my psyche and acting to me, and some of the fear that goes into this sort of things. Now, by a lot of people's standards, I was a pretty good actor. Um, Not in the classical sense. I wasn't tremendous at memorizing lines. If I had a paragraph of dialogue that I had to do for a play, it took me forever to memorize that paragraph. But improv was the way to go, and a lot of comedians are really told to improv, and a lot of directors, especially in comedy, say, "Hey, just we're going to do one scene with the actual line, then we're going to ad lib 4 or 5 lines afterwards." So I knew it would be okay if I couldn't memorize lines. Real Hollywood movies, you don't actually have to learn the lines. You can either be fed the lines in an earpiece, or you can just memorize the line 3 minutes before you go on stage for your scene, or go on set for your scene. Um, so I wasn't too concerned about that. My producer Brian, he I was planning on leaving Florida to go back to New York. Um, I was handling some personal issues, some things where I needed to work on. I'll put it this way: in my improv troupe, I was considered the Robert Downey Jr. Of my improv troupe. They used to actually call me Downey. I went by my acting name was David Cole, Cole, David Cole. My nicknames were Coltrane, because when I was good, I would deliver all of my lines and my scenes smooth on a set of rails. Every stop would be like clockwork. But as soon as I was off and I derailed, all hell would break loose. So my nickname was the Coal Train, because either it was going to be on deliver or it was going to be a train wreck. So most of them would either call me Coal Train or Downey. For more reasons than it's healthy to admit. So I was struggling with some personal stuff, and I wasn't in a good place. I was ready to go back home. I was ready to go back to Buffalo and just kind of get straightened out a little bit. And my producer walked up to me and he was like, "Listen, I'm not offering this to anybody else." He goes, "I want to offer it to you." He goes, "I want to get you a bed in a place for 30 days, get you worked out." And he goes, "And I want you to come to California with me. I can get you into a D-rate movie. It'll probably make, $5 or $6 grand, and I could probably squeeze you into a second one." He goes, "But after that, you'd be on your own. I can have you stay at one of our guest houses. I can give you a car until you make your way and get a couple movies under your belt, but you'll have me and Tava to lean on. What do you say?" And that was my dream. That was my dream. I was going to be an actor. That's what I wanted to do. And he was going to give me the help I needed to straighten myself out so that I could be a good one. But a crazy thing happens when you are confronted with your dreams. And something very unexpected can happen when you are faced with the reality of your dreams. And that very unexpected something is fear. And I turned him down. I was too scared to go across country, do these films, and try to do it on my own, and think what could happen if I didn't get my third film. If I had more personal issues that I'd have to deal with. And I turned him down. And he said, this is... Every actor in the world wants a shot. He's like, "This is your shot." And I did the opposite of what Alexander Hamilton did. I threw away my shot. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in a good place. And it's true, those shots you don't get a second chance at that shot. I am not the same person I was then. You don't get started at 40 doing what I was doing at 26, 27. So what I want to kind of leave everybody here with, and I don't mean to end it on a downer note, believe in yourself. If I would have had a little more confidence, if I wasn't in such a bad headspace, if I would have believed in myself a little bit more, I may be in a different place than I am now. Now, I'm not saying I'm in a bad place. I'm not. I'm very happy where I am. I have a great wife. I have an awesome son. The dog's a bum, but he'll grow out of it eventually. But you have to have confidence. If you are given an opportunity, you have to have confidence in yourself and faith in yourself. You are your own worst critic. I know, because I refused to watch any of the stuff that I was ever in. When they would film our shows, I hated watching myself because I was my own worst critic. Greek, that's right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Famous Wayne Gretzky line. But the only way you are going to be successful, the only way you're going to succeed, the only way you're going to get things that you want out of life, nobody is going to hand them to you. And that was one chance where in a million where somebody was trying to do that for me. But nobody's going to hand you anything. You have to get yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to look at yourself in the mirror, and you have to answer to yourself at the end of the day and nobody else. When presented with an opportunity and it is something you really want to do not let a simple, small thing like fear stop you. It is, if your chance is there, you go for it. Carpe diem. Truthfully, you can regret the things you didn't do, but you can't regret taking that chance. Even if it flames out, you can look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and go, you know what, I tried. I gave it 100%. I did something that nobody else got to do, and I'm happy with that. So, little food for thought. With that said, I love each and every one of you, and I have 100% faith in each and every one of you. If there's something y'all want to do, go do it. Don't wait. Don't stop. Don't let fear control you. Go out there and do it. You are all wonderful people. You are loved. Love yourself as well. Take care. Be safe. Take care of each other. And take care of yourself. Thank you, everybody.